Hello everyone. In this tutorial, we will apply texture to the model of a dice. Following steps are required to complete this tutorial. We will first open the file that has dice model in it. Next, we will apply shader to the dice model. After that, we will apply shader to the floor. Next, we will save the project with assets. And in the end, we will change the background color of the scene and then render the scene. Before starting the tutorial, you need to download two files, that is start file which is required to perform this tutorial and a wood texture image that is required later in the tutorial. So you need to download these two files and save them at a desired location. Let us first open the start file, choose the file menu, next choose open project. On doing so, the load files dialog box is displayed. In this dialog box, you need to navigate to the folder where you have saved the start file. This is the location where I have saved the start file. Select the start file and then choose the open button. You can see here dice model is displayed on the floor in the viewport. Now, before applying the materials, you need to make sure standard is chosen from the layouts displayed at the top of the interface. Next, choose the Material Manager button from the Modes palette. On doing so, the Material Manager is displayed at the right of the viewport. Next, let us choose Create from the Material Manager menu and then choose the New Default Material option from it. On doing so, a material slot with the name Matte is displayed in the Material Manager. Now we need to rename it. Let us rename it as Matte Dice. To do so, choose the Basic button from the Attribute Manager and you can then write Matte in the Name Edit box. Alternatively, you can double click on the name Matte and then write the desired name. Next, press Enter. Like this, you can rename the material. After that, in the Basic Properties area, make sure the Reflectance checkbox is selected and then choose the Reflectance button in the Attribute Manager. Next, choose the Add button. On doing so, the flyout is displayed. In this flyout, choose Form. Now you can notice the change in the material in this slot, and also you can notice here that the reflectance layer with the name layer 1 is added here. Next, scroll down and click on the color swatch that is located next to the color parameter in the layer color area. On doing so, the color chooser dialog box is displayed. In this dialog box, set 197 in the R spinner, 145 in the G spinner, and again 145 in the P spinner. Next, close this dialog box. This color is used to set the color of reflection. After that, you need to set 50 in the brightness spinner. This value specifies the brightness of the reflectance color. Now, choose the color button. Next, click on the color swatch next to the color parameter. Again, the color chooser dialog box is displayed. In this dialog box, set 163 in the R spinner, 216 in the G spinner, 246 in the B spinner. Next, close this dialog box. You can notice here light blue color is displayed for this material. Now we need to assign this material to dice. To do so, press and hold the left mouse button and drag the material on dice. Notice here, now the matte dice material is applied to dice. Next, we need to assign material to these dots. For that, you need to create one more material. To create a new material, you can choose Create and then New Default Material as we have done earlier. Or you can double click in the empty area of the Material Manager. On doing so, you can see now the new material is created. Next, let us rename this material as Matte Dots. Now, make sure this new material is selected and then make sure the color button is chosen in the Attribute Manager. After that, click on the color swatch next to the color parameter and then set 0 in all these three spinners, that is R, G and B spinner. On setting value 0 in these spinners, black color is displayed here. Next, close this dialog box. Now choose the reflectance button from the attribute manager, then choose the add button, and after that choose font from the flyout displayed. On doing so, the reflectance layer with the name layer 1 is added here. Now scroll down and click on the color swatch next to the color parameter in the layer color area. After that, set 68 in the R spinner, 62 in the G spinner, and again 62 in the B spinner. Now close the color chooser dialog box. Next, set 34 in the brightness spinner. In this way, we have created matte dots material. Now to assign this material to dots, press and hold the left mouse button on it and drag it to dots in the object manager. Notice here now in the viewport that the matte dots material is applied to dots. Next, we need to create material for the floor. To do so, double click in the empty area of the material manager. A new material is created in the material manager. Again, double click on matte and write matte floor. Now make sure this matte floor material is selected, and then in the attribute manager, make sure the reflectance button is chosen. Next, choose the add button and then choose font from the flyout displayed. Again, the reflectance layer with the name layer 1 is added here. Next, choose the color button in the attribute manager and then scroll down. After that, choose the browse button located next to the texture parameter. On doing so, the load file dialog box is displayed. In this dialog box, you need to navigate to the folder where you have saved the wood texture image. Next, select this image and choose the open button. On doing so, the Cinema 4D message box is displayed. In this message box, it is mentioned that this image is not in the project search path. Do you want to create a copy at the project location? So you can choose yes to create a copy. Next, you need to again choose the reflectance button and then scroll down. After that, set 10 in the brightness spinner of the layer color area. On setting this brightness value, you can see now the wood texture is displayed in the material slot. We need to assign this material to floor. For that, press and hold the left mouse button on this material and drag it to the floor in the viewport. Now you can see matte floor material is applied to floor. In this way, we have applied material to the objects in the scene. After that, let us choose the material manager button to close the material manager. Next, zoom out. After that, we need to save the project with assets. To do so, choose the file menu and then choose the save project with assets option. On doing so, the save file dialog box is displayed. In this dialog box, navigate to the desired folder where you want to save your project with assets. Here, I will write the name as C05_tut1. Next, choose the save button. On doing so, the Cinema 4D file is saved along with its assets in a folder named C05_tut1. Next, to verify it, you can navigate to that location. The folder is created. If I open this folder, the Cinema 4D file is there and also text folder is there where wood texture image is saved. In this way, you can save the project with assets. Now let us go back to Cinema 4D interface. Next, we need to change the background color of the scene. To change the background color of the scene, you need to follow the process mentioned in the tutorial 1 of chapter 2. After setting the background color of the scene, you need to set the view of the scene in the viewport. Next, to render the scene, choose the Render to Picture Viewer tool. The rendered scene is displayed in the Picture Viewer window. Now close this window. That is all in this tutorial. Now you know how to apply texture to the model of a dice. Thank you for watching.